Alright guys, so we're starting to head into the dungeons. We're going to be doing the beat dungeon achievements. So I thought we'll just do a quick tank build video first, so we can just link that at the end of each of the dungeon videos we do. So if anyone has any questions about the build I am running, here's your answers. Alright, start with the stats. We got 20k max magic, 40k health, 25k max stam, 12k magic recovery, a huge 70k health recovery, and 14k stam recovery, give or take. Damage is irrelevant. 30k spell resistance, 27 physical resistance, crit resistance irrelevant. We divvied it up with 24 points in health, 40 in stam. Could probably play around with that a bit. Here's the rest of our stats if you're interested. Alright, we are running the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, which in most of the dungeons is not really necessary, but that is probably the best in slot because we get that extra 400 health recovery, which this is a health recovery build. And we're running the Lady because running, is it the Ritual's Healing. Running the Steed for the extra health recovery, it pushed our health recovery up to 7.6, but the recovery, the resistances were a little low, so we went back to the Lady to just to cover that gap, get our physical and spell resistance up there. We are a tank after all, and I think 7.1 is good enough. We don't really need 7.5 or 7.6. Alright. We just used, I'm just using the trash pots. The only thing I seem to ever run out of is stamina, so I just run the basic stamina trash pots. You could run tripods if you wanted to, or immovability pots, whatever you want. Trash pots seem to work just fine, and the fortifying meals seem to get me through all the dungeons at the moment. Although, like I said, this would be best in slot, and that's what we're using now to boost to the stats. Obviously that is boosted because of the health. The champion points boosted in the health recovery there with the 500 ultimate. We do run werewolf. We're not running tormentor set though, so when we do transform into our werewolf, we can't tank anything, we can't taunt anything. So let's just stay on our front bar just for the extra stamina recovery, which helps out a bit. So these are our stats as we go into a werewolf. So we push 3.8k weapon damage. So if your DPS is slacking a lot, or you just want to help them out with the ads, you can turn into a werewolf form and help them burst down some ads. But you cannot taunt the boss in this form, so you will have to unform and go back into tank form to actually tank the boss. So without the ultimate built up, we're sitting at 4.5k health recovery. It's a bit of a drop, but even that's still quite nice. 4.5 at all times is very nice, and any ultimate you get will build that up really quickly. And we of course run Heroic Slash, which will build our ultimate up rather nicely with our heavy attacks and our taunt, of course, to taunt the enemy. Got our silver leash. We are a Templar. We're not a Dragon Knight, so we don't have the change, so we run silver leash, of course. Repentance, one of the best skills, if not the best skill in the game at the moment. Restore the stamina for each corpse and health for each corpse nearby. Really helps out your stamina DPS. Although I notice a lot of people will pop this skill when the fight's finished and everything's dead, then they'll pop it. You want to be popping this skill during the battle. As things are dying, start popping it straight away to refresh your stamina for your DPS characters so they can keep going. And of course we've got Vigor. Breath of Life might have been a better choice here. And I always went with Vigor. I always feel like I needed one heal on my main bar there. So we got Vigor. And then of course Werewolf, I already explained, that's just there for the extra 15% recovery, which pairs well with our sets. And you can use it for a bit of fun if you want to. On the back bar we have Barrier. That's the ultimate I usually use when in the dungeons. If it's getting a bit dodgy, it's getting a bit hot, we'll pop Barrier, give everyone a nice shield there. With our 12k, because we've got 40k health, so we'll get a 12k bone shield and a 12k blazing sun shield. Maybe our resistance buff, our ranged taunts of course, for when you need it, and our purge, which also puts down a heal, which is a really good skill to have on your bar, because if you run in a monster helm that procs off a heal, like the obvious one would be Troll King. We're not actually running Troll King, but you could run Troll King with this, get that extra 1000 health recovery on top of everything you already got. So having this on the ground, and then you're just tanking in this area, which is a big area, you got that heal on you. Every 2 seconds you're going to receive that heal, so if you get hit under half health, it will automatically proc, is it Blood Forge? The one that makes the blood rain down on you, automatically proc that, or automatically proc Troll King for you if you go under half health. So it's a really awesome skill to be having. Plus the extra 2k health per second is you know, it is what it is. And all these pair very well nicely with each other. You can just go down the line, bang, fully buff, swap back, and you're good to go. So you almost don't need a heal. You can just put your shields on and your health recovery will heal yourself up. Alright, let's get into the sets. Champion points. Cover this real quick. We want our gold. As you're running dungeons, you're going to want your gold and your treasure hunter, and that's basically it. We've got our food duration, very important, and our liquefier, save us on some pots. Everything else is just cosmetic. We are running, well, we have a lot of the pickpocketing and thieving up, so we can start working on that achievement as well, because there's a lot of thieving you got to do, and as a tank there's not much else you can do other than dungeons, fishing and thieving. So that's why he's set up the way he is, to work on those other achievements in our downtime. Where are we? Blue Tree. We've got nothing in healing, just the passives. Nothing in damage, of course. No point going in the damage. We've got enough stats, so we're just all pure defense. 10% damage reduction, 10% damage reduction, 10% damage reduction, so that's all types of damage. We get the damage reduction, and we just got the extra resistance there. On the red bar, got some passives. The main passives are these two. You want your block and your block reduction. We didn't get too much into the others. Well, that one's maxed out. It's only 15 points, so it's a good one to have. That one we probably could have put more in. We don't really bash too much. We don't put none in the damage for the bash. Got our max health, of course. Reduce the cost of roll dodge as a passive. It's an awesome one. Reduce the cost of break free. Essential for our tanking. Slippery, which I think I've got this on every single character. It's just such a good one. Automatic free break free, and it's every 21 seconds as well. That's I expect that to be nerfed. They're gonna have to put that up to 30-40 seconds, maybe once a minute. That's awesome. The extra armor, of course. Health recovery, of course. And health recovery when we have our ultimate up. So we don't really try not to use our ultimate too much, but it is what it is. Pop that barrier when you need to. Go werewolf if you want to have a bit of fun. Alright, so champion points. We covered our skills, we covered our character. Where's our sets? Alright, so starting off, Willow's Path. Now we were using master weapons and no monster helm, but I thought, seeing we're doing the vet dungeons, we should make the build 100% easy to obtain. So we've got no master weapons, we've got a basic monster helm and an overland set. No trial sets, nothing that's hard to obtain. Willow's Path is a 6 trait craftable set, so if you can craft it yourself, you're done. Otherwise, you can find you a crafter who can craft it for you. And we've just got sword on board, Willow's Path. We've got the shield enchant on that one and the weapon reduction enchant on that one. To be honest, we don't attack anything off our back bar, so they will probably never actually proc. But you can just, I mean, they're the exact same thing, so you can just swap the sword over for whatever enchant you want on your front bar. We've got defending on both swords though, to give us that extra 1.6k resist. Our shields are infused max stats. We probably could have gone reinforced or sturdy there. It's up to you. And we also got the jewellery at Willow's Path. Now, crafting jewellery can be quite expensive, so if you don't want to go this way, just craft the 5 pieces of body piece of Willow's Path and try and get the beekeeper weapons and jewellery, which we did actually have. We got the beekeeper sword, we got a beekeeper shield. We couldn't find another beekeeper shield though, and so we tried a resto staff at one point. We got a beekeeper's resto staff in here. So in the end we just gave up and went to master weapons, and then for this build we've swapped to Willow's Path weapons, and we just got the 5-piece beekeeper gear, all infused, all divines. We don't sweat the small details. And the monster helm we're going with is Tremor Scale. Now, there's better monster helms out there, but this one does give us the 4 meter reduced physical resistance by 2.3k. So I thought that would help out any physical DPS that are tanking up, DPSing up close with me. That's the only reason we went for that one. And because all the other good ones are in DRC dungeons, and if you're doing these dungeons that this character's designed for, you probably haven't been in those dungeons yet. So it made sense just to pick a basic monster helm. Bloodspawns, obviously everyone's fan favorite, and the extra resistance would have been nice, and the ultimate regen on that set would be really helpful on this one too, to get your health recovery back up to max. So it's probably a better monster helm. I didn't have it in heavy, so that's why we went with this one, because it's just what I happen to have on me. And the physical resistance debuff seems quite nice. So those two sets pair really well together. We've got the 900 health recovery we get from our beekeeper. Not beekeeper, sorry. Yeah, it is beekeeper. All max health, massive health recovery at the end. You combine that with Willow's Path, which gives us an extra 25% to our health recovery, and all magic and stam recovery. It's probably one of the best tank sets there are to get all that recovery. We put health recovery on the jewellery, infused on the rings, harmony on the necklace for that synergy buff, but health recovery and chance to really buff that health recovery up. I think that's it, guys. If I missed anything, let me know. It's just such an easy one to put together, such a fun build. It makes a good werewolf too. That health recovery on a werewolf is awesome, so you can run that in your battlegrounds, or can't run it in Cyrodiil anymore, but in a couple of months you will be. Alright, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. Okay. So we are at the Western Elsewhere Gate. And just while we're talking about monster helms, but this lady appears every weekend, called the Golden. They call it the Golden Store, and you can get monster helms from her. Not only can you get the monster helm, but you can choose it in light, heavy, or medium, whatever you want it in. It will come in infused. If you buy it with AP, it will come in impent. And so you can just come here, buy the helmet, do your normal dungeons, get your keys, and get the shoulders out of the chest. You don't even have to complete the dungeon. You can get the monster helm, whatever monster helm appears for the weekend. So you come back, check every weekend, and you'll eventually get a good, decent monster helm.